quite premium rates, and the banks rely on these deposits to remain afloat. So the banks are forced to match what the government is offering. In fact, if you saw the last T-bond that was issued was at 19%. So the bank now is forced to offer high interest rates. I'm sure even for those of us who have deposits in the banks, you are shocked at what the bank is offering. It's because the bank now has to match almost what the government is offering. So if you are giving a customer an interest rate probably of between 15 to 18%, it means that you have to increase your interest rate on the loan facility, yeah, so that you're able to report some element of profit. Because I'm sure all of you wouldn't want to bring your money to a bank that is posting losses.
All right, thank you. Vincent? Oh, yes.
Good morning. I'm a guest from Busia. My first question was actually on the interest rates. If you could clarify what percentage you're working with right now. And also, we all understand when loan facilities are being issued, it's always the beautiful faces. And for collection, it's always the serious guys. So, on that note, I want you to talk about your debt restructuring in case of any instances that may arise because circumstances in business are not constant. So if you could kindly comment on that.
All right, we'll take two more and then we can wrap up with the session on COP. Just go ahead. Maureen? So for facilities that have more than?
300 employees.
Okay, more than 300 employees. Are they disqualified? Okay. Last question, I saw a hand somewhere. Where's the last one?
Good morning. My name is Dr. Kennedy Muthoka from KPN Radiology. I think the question to Angela would be for banks to consider, especially for large equipment, especially imaging, instead of just having a flat rate payment period. You know, you ask for the business plan, and then you know the income within the first few months will likely be low as the business grows. It's good to see you have added a moratorium for the either 6 months or a period like that, but just to look at a graduated way of payment that probably will start lower. Thanks.
All right, so Angela, you can take those three briefly.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll start with the last question regarding the graduated payment. So what normally happens is when we analyze your facility, we are normally flexible in terms of how we will agree with you in terms of repayment. So you'll find that there are those hospitals that have a lot of insurance companies and they receive quite a lot of payments within the month. Then there are those hospitals that rely on NHIF, and we know the challenges that NHIF has. They take a bit of time in terms of payment. So the kind of repayment structure will be based on how your inflows are coming. So we would opt for probably a monthly, or probably quarterly, or probably half yearly. And also, we have also where we can be able to build up the deposit, build up the repayment, yeah, so that we can be in a position to service the facility at the time when it's due. Now, on the issue of starting small in terms of the repayment and increasing it over time is something we can consider. But what normally happens is that when we give you the grace period, the only thing that you'll be required to pay is normally the interest element of the bank. And then normally we would find that the moratorium, by the time it lapses, and also we'll work with you very closely to just see how you can be able to increase your numbers, and by what period you'll be able to increase your numbers, so that now the full repayment checks in at the time when the customer is most comfortable to service the facility. Now, regarding the question about 300 employees, now there's a qualification criteria for 3 items. There's number 1, the employees, yeah. There's also the issue of the turnover, yeah, there's also the issue of the total net current assets of the business. So out of those 3 items, the HSME should at least score 2. So if you have not scored on the employees, we'll expect that probably you have scored on those 2. But still, if we still visit your business and we still see that there's a need that we can support you within the program, then it's a waiver that we can give. Now, regarding the interest rate, currently, our interest rate is based on bank base rate plus about a margin of 3, which comes to 19%. So about 19.5%. So what the good thing about having a base rate is right now the base rate is going up. But as the base rate comes down, which we project at some point, we know that this situation is just temporary. So as the base rate comes down, you'll find that the interest rate will also come down. Yeah? So a bank base rate facility is really encouraged at this point. Yeah. And I've already explained the reasons why the interest rates are increasing. It's because of the liquidity issue, and the banks really have to match what the government is offering, pushing us now to increase the interest rate on the loans. And if you look at it right now, we have never experienced this kind of an environment where interest rates are just changing. In the past, interest rates would change once probably in 3 or 4 years. We have never seen this. So we are hoping that just like COVID came and went, also this situation also will normalize itself and we go back to the way we were operating. Regarding collection of the facility, now that is why it is very, very critical. At the point when you are engaging your banker for a facility, you tell us everything. Just like the way they normally say that anybody who goes to a doctor and wants a solution needs to lay themselves almost bare naked. So for the banker also, as we're having our discussions with you, you need to be very candid and really tell us this is how it is. So that the banker at that point will be able to give you a repayment structure and structure the facility based on your cash flows. So that we alleviate the problem of future challenges of being able to service the facility. Yes, we agree that the things change, things happen, like COVID came and went. So and COVID came and taught the banking environment that we really need to be flexible. So what we do is we normally would meet you on a monthly basis, we'd meet you quarterly, and at that point when the banker comes to visit you is the opportune time where you need to come out and say, hey, I'm seeing there's a challenge here within the next 3 months, or this is happening, or NHIF have not paid me, how can you support me? And the bank will be very quick to see how we can support you. But the thing is, don't get yourself in a problem and you're just quiet. If the banker is calling you, you're not answering the banker's call, you're running away from the banker. In fact, when we see that a customer is behaving like that, that is when now we come gun blazing. But if you work with us, tell us this is how it is, how can we, and you also cooperate with your bank, things will be okay.
Right, thank you, Angela, for those very well answered questions. So the next panelist is from Hatch Technologies. I will kick it off by asking Hatch, if you were to sell just 3 equipment to these members, which ones would they be? Just 3.
If we're to sell 3 equipment to you, number 1 will be the Pumani Bubble CPAP for respiratory support. Number 2 will be the Brilliance phototherapy machine for jaundice management. And number 3 will be a radiant warmer for thermal management for the neonates.
Okay, so number 1 there?
Pumani, the Pumani Bubble CPAP.
Okay.
The Bubble CPAP. Number 2 is a phototherapy unit. Then number 3 is a radiant warmer.
Is it okay if we ask how much from the top? Let's just go into that. How much? We will talk later Rupha prices, but right now, if you were to sell the bubble CPAP.
Okay, that question will be answered very well with the business development.
Yenda najua bei. Okay.
So for the Pumani Bubble CPAP, it goes for 250,000 Kenya shillings. For the phototherapy light, Brilliance Pro, goes for 95,000. And then for the infant warmer, it goes for 250,000.
All right, thank you. Those are very fair prices, don't you think? If you have tried getting these items, they can be very, very costly. Is there anyone in this room who has bought something from Hatch Technologies over the last 2 years? Let me see. Okay, let me ask randomly, what has been your experience, good or bad? Mahmoud, or wacha nichukue ule wa kuchoma?
Yeah, I mean, I've been using the Radiant, the phototherapy machine for the last 2 years. So it's working well. Excellent.
So is it value for money?
There is value for money, yes.
All right. So Dr. Mohamed here likes in Mwingi, he's enjoying. Mahmoud?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I bought a phototherapy machine from them, and I'm happy also to come back for more today. I'm taking more equipment from them, and I'll be happy to close that deal today. Thank you.
Okay, so what are you taking today?
I'm expanding NICU, so the entire NICU.
Wow, that's amazing, that's amazing. So this is an entire...
Just a
expansion.
quick one,
Yes,
Doc.
right, yeah.
I would like Dr. Mohammed to tell us his experience in terms of the facility assessment, the feedback that was shared. So...
The experience has been wonderful. The team came down to my hospital. They assessed the space that I intended to put up a NICU, and the feedback was very helpful. There was a lot of consultation going back and forth. We actually, the space that we wanted to develop the NICU, I think we are going to mess if we went alone, and we were advised appropriately, and I think the advice has been taken. We are currently finishing up with the refurbishment, and hopefully today we can also finalize on the equipment. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
you want
you
to
so
say
much.
anything else?
I would also want an experience from Crispin Hospital. We've actually walked the journey since...
Saint Crispin.
Crispin, yes,
Are you
Kajiado.
in the house,
I
Saint
don't know
Crispin?
if Crispin is here.
I don't see them.
So with Crispin, we were able to do a CME. They're also looking to set up a NICU and an NBU in Kajiado. So we've done various trainings. We went on site, trained their nurses, their doctors, and also we linked them up with MCF, PharmAccess. So I believe by the close of, I think the second quarter, we'll be closing up that deal. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I don't think we're going to ask you any more questions unless you want to say something.
Okay, just a comment or a reassurance that as you've heard from the feedback, and as I said earlier on, we provide equipments that are effective, robust, and affordable for these environments that you are in. So trust in our brands, and we also offer more support. As Dr. has said, we did a facility assessment, so we walk the journey with you, and we provide even capacity development services. So thank you so much for the support, and we look forward to continue working with Rupha.
All right, so members, one of the things we try to do with this convention is connect you in a wholesome manner. If you look, there is Hatch Technologies here, which is doing great work in the network. But at the same time, if you don't have the money available, CoopBank is there, you know, Dream Credit is there, Medical Credit Fund is here. So you really don't have an excuse that I cannot expand my business. You can do it. The excuse is not there. Just, you know, think aggressively. Mohammed they're doing amazing things. Mahmoud has a level 5 hospital now in Bungoma. And, you know, Mohammed, yours is a level 4, I believe, in Mwingi. Those are amazing stories that we need to hear, so that next time when we meet, a lot more of our providers are moving forward. So there's a connection between what you need and who can support you to get there. And maybe feedback for Angela, one of the feedbacks we gave you for AMEF was bring more brands on board. As you can see, Hatch Technology is doing amazing work. It would be very nice to have Hatch Technology onboarded onto the AMIF program so that more members can also benefit. So quick question for Yvette. Why should anyone, no, that one we know already. How much would it cost to go through a training that my millionaire brother here has been going through?
Okay, thank you very much. Just allow me to say something. This is a universal problem. Too many entrepreneurs are too busy working inside their business that they're not able to take a back step and strategically, just determine where we are going. So there's just a lot of firefighting, and in terms of getting the technical support, they do get, but in terms of business growth and strategic thinking, that is not there. So we have different offerings at different price points. I'm happy to walk you through them. If you're at an idea stage, you're thinking, should I or should I not? That is, in a sense, the simplest. 3 hours, so I'll give you the time investment and I'll give you the money investment. So we are looking at once a week engagement for the founder, the person who has the idea, 3.5 hours a week for 10 weeks, all right? And all that goes for 28,000 shillings. Let me just say that we're highly subsidized. That is at 81% subsidy. Of course, if you were to do that, you can do the math. It's around about 180,000. But we are a non-profit, so we are more concerned about equipping you for success because we want to see the impact of success on the economy and the growth. So it's highly subsidized. And just to let you know that the content is from Harvard and contextualized to our local context. Our founders are actually Harvard graduates. One of them is a Kenyan and one of them is an American. So that's for the idea stage. It's called Aspire because you're aspiring. What is unique about it is you get to do practical, it's not just head knowledge. All right? We want clarity. You get clarity on what is the problem you're solving. All right? Who do you think your customer is? We'll send you to those people. And you'll validate whether they resonate with the solution that you're giving them. So by the time you're launching, you've done a lot of groundwork. You don't have to pay expensive consultants to do that for you because you've got the tools to help you do that. All right, the next one is called Academy. Now, it was a very intense program, but we broke it down to topical areas. There are 3 major challenges when you're growing your business. This is a business that has already been launched, but the structures are not 100% clear, and everything in the business depends on whether or not the owner is there. And if they're not, it will fall apart. So what do we have? We know they say that cash is king, but where does cash come from? Cash comes from the customer, and the customer that pays. So the first thing we do is we help you, and we give you tools to identify customer acquisition and customer retention strategy. What are you doing? You have a hospital, but is your brand visible? Do people know about it? What intentionality are you going to do? Most of the time, people like to relegate this to a sales and marketing person. But as the business owner, it is your responsibility to get your brand out there. And so we will equip you so that you're able to do that. We'll equip you with thinking such that if you hire a marketing person, you know how to manage them.
How
and
much?
You know the questions.
How much?
Guess. It is 6 weeks. Let me tell you the time first. 6 weeks, 6 hours a week. And
Who said, mtu anataka
oh, you gotta invest. It doesn't. When you're doing your MBA, you put in the time, isn't it? Absolutely. And this is MBA content, but very practical. Now, this 6 weeks, any guesses in the house? Do you think it's 50,000 or the subsidized rate? 10,000? Oh no, you undervalue my product. No way, I wouldn't give that to you. You would not, no way. 10,000? You gotta be kidding me. No. Okay, but thank you for guessing. So definitely not 10. 10 times what?
6?
10 times 6?
Yes.
Not too bad. Guess what? We have a special offer. It is less than 25,000 shillings. That is the subsidized rate. The full rate is 55,000 shillings, but the subsidized rate is 25,000 shillings. All right, that's the customer acquisition. The next one is what they were talking about, what IFC is giving advisory on. Too many of you, if you're given your financial statements from the auditor, you cannot tell A from Z. You need to understand what is your profitability, what is your pathway to profitability, at which point do you break even, and you may be paper profit, but your cash flows are all over the place because NHIF have taken forever to pay you. And so you're wondering, where am I going to get this cash? And you're not serving people, and you're out of stock, and you're not doing all those things. We help you to understand how your financials operate so that you can say, I'm not working with this insurance before you get into trouble. Same price, okay? 6 weeks, financials. And the next one, your most valuable asset is your human resource. Who are you hiring in your team? Is it that relative? Are they really equipped? Get the right people with the right skill who will drive your business forward. This is HR, leadership, and operations. We have 3 modules. Each module is going for 25,000 shillings. You need to do this. It's going to change your life.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you, Yvette. Any questions for Yvette? Quick ones? Anyone? People satisfied? Anyone who is ready to... Dr. Nalwa, yes?
Oh, that's a good question. So first and foremost, it's cohort-based. So then, of course, you're working in a cohort. There's a lot of flexibility, all right? Because if Saturday is your busiest day, we're not going to come and train you on Saturday, all right? And then, depending on the cohort, we can also come to where you are if we have a quorum, and we can break it down into 2 sessions of 3 hours. One, likely on a Saturday or another time that works for you, and another one on an evening, like from 5 to 8 or 5 to 7. That is how it's structured.
All right, thank you. Quick questions for Mulama. Mulama from Shelf Life, isn't it? So what would Shelf Life do for hospitals? It seems like Shelf Life is working in pharmacies. What would Shelf Life do for hospitals?
Thank you so much. Hello. Thank you so much, Brian. So as Shelf Life, yes, we started off working with pharmacies, but we get now, working with many hospitals. Over the last, 2 years, we've been partnering with hospitals also. So what we believe as Shelf Life is that suppliers should offer more to the institutions they are serving than just stocking their shelves. As much as this we are Shelf Life, we stock. We basically deal with drugs and a few hospital consumables with a comprehensive list, more than 2,500 stock keeping units, and we do believe suppliers should offer more in terms of planning for the inventory needs of this particular hospital they are serving, improve fulfillment, and also offer financing. Because at the moment, yes, we've got this NHIF, crisis costing, cash crunches in hospitals and clinics. Can we come in and agree on a model to best finance for your inventory needs? Do you have to hold stock for, let's say, more than 90 days, yet you have a credit period of perhaps 30 days? Can we come in hand and help you plan? Can we shorten your cash conversion cycles so as for you to at least have your monies with you for operations and not them stuck in shelves? Because pharmaceuticals are high volume, low margin services, and you can easily have your money stuck in shelves and more, with the NHIF and other insurance service providers. So we come in handy to help you plan for inventory needs, to help you at least, ensure you've got the right drugs, and to not holding excess, you get into accessing credit enough for your operations.
So in a nutshell, Shelf Life is inventory, inventory, inventory.
Exactly.
So if any providers are thinking about my shelves are empty, how do I handle my inventory better, they should come and talk to Shelf Life.
Definitely.
Asante sana. Africa, I have just a quick clarification for you. What is it that ALM is doing with Rupha that will change how providers work?
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. So what we are doing with Rupha is to make access to our devices, our solutions, much easier and affordable for all the members of Rupha. So to break it down is to say that if you are to come to us and say, I want to get this solution from you, you probably will get the pricing a little intense. You might say, okay, when you lower the price, please come and talk to me later. But when we work with Rupha...
Let me just interrupt. Let's take the Lesono ultrasound.
Yeah.
If a member comes here and, it has 6 probes, I have seen it's a wonderful device. If Mrs. Kandia here wants to buy it for her facility, how much cash will it cost her?
So that is...
Roughly.
3,000 USD. That's around 420 at the current exchange rate. 420,000 Kenya shillings, 3,000 US dollars. If you are to buy it, like I want to buy and own, it comes with 6 probes and all the other details that we can always talk about when you're buying. But when we partner with Rupha, Rupha comes to us and say, look, we know our members, we know their consumer behavior, and we know who can afford what. So we want to work with, let's say, these 10 facilities. So instead of you buying on the straight, we know that facilities are cash strapped. So we want to give these devices to Rupha. Rupha will say, okay, facility 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 needs. We give this number of devices to you. At the very point, you don't pay anything at that point. But as you screen and you go along, we agree. How can we share the revenue that comes out of the service you're offering using these devices? Then we agree over a period of time, between 3 to 5 years. By the time we recoup our money and our margins, the devices remains with the facility. Because once you use the device for, say, 3 years, 4 years, we can't take it back and resell it. It has actually gone through a significant period of wear and tear. So the idea is to make it easier to own the device and use it, as opposed to saying, oh, I have some 3,000 USD, I want to acquire this straight away. If you have that and that is you, perfect. We definitely, but there is 1 or 2 units, right? But if we give, say, 20 units to Rupha and you agree with Rupha that I want these ultrasounds, I have the numbers, I can screen and I can be able to get this amount of money on a monthly basis, then you can always agree on how we share that revenue.
All right, so members, on that note, I think it's a great note to end this session. We have 12 devices given by ALM to Rupha this moment. Your facility can have those devices at your facility, no cost, no upfront cost. We will discuss how, the revenue share, that is something we've done in the MOU. But today, if you need a Lesono ultrasound, if you need the Felcom Aya for fundoscopy, if you need the Engyne for cervical screening, through our cooperation with ALM, those devices are available, at least for this stage, for the first 12 facilities that show interest, and no cash being required upfront. So isn't that a good thing So I want to thank our panel for this, very engaging presentations we've had this morning, and welcome you to please take your seats. Reverend, where are you for blessing for tea? Thank you. Here you go.
Thank you for that wonderful session. We want to take a short break so that we get something to boost our energy and lift our sugars kidogo. And then when we come back, we still have something for you, very interesting for you. So we just want to pray for the cup of tea and the snacks, and then we will be back here. My request is that if you get your cup of tea and snacks, please come back to your table so that we can multitask. Yeah, as we take, the sessions are running, because today we have to finish early, like we had a deal yesterday. Sawa sawa? Very good. Doctors don't say sawa.
Have you blessed the tea?
I'm blessing that tea. Or you are waiting? You don't have a very good German. Let's pray for the tea. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your provision. Thank you for the drink and the snack that is before us. We ask you to bless it as we take it in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, Karibu. There is one serving point on this end, another one on this end. Please, as you serve, come with your